Namaste, konnichiwa. Welcome to the Thenupurtewarishow. On our special series on Army, Indian Army, the shield that defends India. And today too, we have another hero with us. And he is none other than Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia. Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia, welcome to the Thenupurtewarishow on special series on Army, Indian Army.
Jai Hind, and thank you, Nupur. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Honored indeed.
Jai Hind, sir. And the first of all, definitely would love to know what made you to join Indian Army.
Nupur, it is a coincidence, and you won't believe it. I was in class 3, about 7, 8 years old, and my father was posted at Nepal. We were staying next to the Indian military mission, Indian military mission Nepal, those Kathmandu those days. And I was on the road and I saw this, a car with a flag and a red light and someone very smart sitting inside. And I happened to, seeing a Fauji, I saluted him. And the way he saluted me back, with the respect he gave me as a child, it was not a playful salute, it was a proper salute. And that's the time I thought, this is something which I might be, I would love to do. So I went back home and told my parents I would like to join the army. And they, of course, laughed at me. I was not good at studies at all. They said, well, just because you're not good at studies, you got to join the army. I said, no, I want to join the army. And they said, okay, let's see. But then, normal thing is that if you're not good at studies, you go and join the army. It's not so. You have to be very good at studies, join the army, which I learned later on in my life. So that is how I decided to join the army. And thereafter, I came to Delhi. I was studying in Delhi day school. Then I didn't like the day school, though it's one of the best schools in Delhi, Mother's International School, if you heard of it. And then I went to Sainik School in Nainital, and there's no looking back thereafter. I joined the National Defence Academy after my 10th class, and decided to join the Parachute Regiment, which is a voluntary force. And the Indian Army is the largest voluntary army in the world. And in this largest voluntary army, the Parachute Regiment is the only voluntary force. You volunteer and you join, and thereafter you're probated, and the selection rate is 20%. So I think I was fortunate enough to be, to have the life I had. And 40 years I started in the army, and I would like to do the mistake again and again.
Yeah, and we are so fortunate to have you, people like you in the army who are saying that this mistake I would love to do again and again. And this is actually going to inspire the youth of India to join Indian Army. So when you joined the Sainik school, have you ever thought that, have you ever had that second thought, like, really, am I going to take the right decision or not? Or you never looked back?
I never looked back. I never had a second thought. I think maybe I'm a very intuitive man, maybe, but I was so passionate about the army right from the, and I took it as a challenge. Like I said, I was not very good in studies, not very weak, but I was not good in studies. I was not a very strong child. I was good in sports, but I was a frail child actually. I wouldn't say weak, but a frail child. And I took it as a challenge. And I thought I never looked at any other profession whatsoever. It may sound very odd to many of us as to why I did not. But somehow once in a while, as a small child, once something gets into your mind, and then over the years I kept reading about it. I was a wish. The librarian was always my best friend. In any school I went to, the librarian was the only teacher who actually liked me because I was his, I was his favorite student. I would be spending most of the time in the libraries. And I started reading and I was very passionate. I don't think I've ever thought of any other profession, and I never thought that I would fail. I always knew that I was going to join the army. That's what it is.
This is such a determination, I would say. Like, this is for me and I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to at all think of any other profession or any other field. Definitely not. So I think this is for today's young generation today, they think too much. If the plan A fails, then plan B, then the plan C, people are thinking, I think this is such an inspiration that only one target you had and you just excel there. So how was that that life? You said you were not weak, but you were not very strong as well. So how was the journey when you National Defense Academy when you joined? So how was that training period? We'd love to know your experience.
Well, I suppose it was difficult. I remember in class 10th, one day my principal, Venkatam Mukherjee, very fine gentleman, the finest, he told me, he said, no, I don't think you can pass your 10th class. 10th class is not a board exam. I told him, yes, I think you're right. So he got a shock of his thing, and 10th class student who would introspect and say, yes, sir, you're right. He says, what are you doing about it? I said, I'll pass my NDA exam, that is National Defense Academy exam, and you pass my 10th. So he said, okay, it's a done deal. And he stuck to his word, I stuck to mine. I got through the National Defense Academy and he passed my 10th class. So I joined the National Defense Academy. And like I said, I was a real child. Difficult days. It is very difficult, very, very difficult. I mean, let's not, make any bones about it. It is very difficult. It was very difficult. And then, there's we have a swimming test in India where we got to jump, swim, and then go to a 7-meter board and then jump from there. And I was very scared of heights, very, very scared of heights. I still am, I suppose. And that's the only time I ever went to the 7-meter board during the test, and I went there, and I don't know how, I just jumped. And then I came and told my friends that I want to join the parachute regiment. And I was almost 16 years old, second term. So they said, you must be crazy. How can you join the parachute regiment? They were much stronger than me. I said, no, I'm going to join the parachute regiment. And again, I never wavered from that decision of mine. And I think mostly it was the books I read you know, uh, the last day, the longest day and the last battle, uh, read about the battle. So that's how I suppose. Then I read about the two operations in the 1971 war, and I was very sure that I would be on the parachute. It was tough, but I like challenges.
Wonderful. This is such an inspiration for us, these stories. So how was the journey? Like what kind of, definitely you said you like challenges. So what kind of challenges came and how did you solve them? Would love to know those experiences.
No, the challenge in the army is very simple. Actually, the army is very simple life. It's not a complicated life at all. You know exactly what you need to do, and that is in the army we call it three things as wafadari, imandari, bahadri. Right. So you need to be loyal. And when I say loyal is not to anything. Loyalty is yourself, loyalty to your colleagues, loyalty to your country, your nation, your unit, that sort of a thing. And when you say imandari, it's the honesty of purpose, honesty of thought, honesty of action, honesty of intent. We try to think honesty is only financial. No, it's not financial. Honesty is in actions, honesty in your thought process, honesty in intent, honesty in relationships. And when you talk about Bahadri, again, Bahadri is bravery is not only in the battlefield. Bravery is in facing challenges in everyday life. Bravery is helping a man in need at your own cost and your own time. That's how the bravery was taught. Right? So life was quite. I think army life is very simple. Actually, it's not complicated at all. Most of us things are complicated. Life is a very simple life. You have the best colleagues. Our men are the best. I have put in India as I say, Jawan or Bhagwan. I keep them on the same pedestal. Right? The Jawans are the ones who have supported me, who have made me what I am today. If you're taking an interview, it's not owed to me. It's owed to my Jawans. It is because it's an honor to them. They have made me what I am today, and because they're the ones who. And so the challenges are in trying to live correctly, to live right, and to live for the mission, and to make sure that each of the men knows that mission is critical, success of the mission is critical, but their safety is equally critical, and they have to trust you. You're a leader. You're a leader of men. You can't be taking chances. So that is where the challenge lies. It is not only completing the mission; it is completing the mission at no cost. And it is easy to say no cost, but you'll always have to bear cost because when you join battle, when the bullets fly, someone's going to get hurt, and it's very painful. You don't sleep at nights if you have lost a buddy of yours or he has been injured. That's a challenge to overcome that, to go back the next day. because the men trust you totally. They will trust. They place their life's trust with you, and you can't let them down. So that these are the challenges which you have. But then there's it's so simple. The whole thing is so simple uh, that you have to just live by the trust. Leadership is all about what they say in Hindi again. Very piche move, follow me. So you have to lead by example. And example is not only attacking from the left or the right. When you say example, it is in everyday life, in every action you do. Lead by example, emotionally, mentally, physically. Uh, so everywhere you have to lead by example. So you have to be better than at their job. You have to do each of the jobs better than what you could give them. And they know it. They should know that once you give them a job, you are equally capable of doing it. So these are the small challenges I'm talking about. Being a part of a team, the unit which I belong to, I belong to parachute unit, battalion, parachute regiment battalion, it's parachute size, and you function with a naam namak nishan. You know, the naam is the name, namak is the salt, which is vegetarian, and nishan is your flag. So that sort of that is the challenge. You never let them down. Mission criticality, leading from the front, being honest. So these are the challenge in everyday life. There's nothing very great about it. Never done anything great. I just done my duty to the country, to the nation, and to the unit.
This is actually, when I hear these stories and just like the way you were saying, like, I have never done anything great. I have done just my duty, and that is for the Naam Namak Nishan. And now, little bit, these days, contemporary, now these days, I want to come back. Like, when you are so, you gave your life to country, you gave your life to protect us, the citizen of India, and when you come back to this civilian life after 40 years, where people really, they never think about Naam Namak Nishan. They just, if they get a post, they think they're just next to God. So the civilian life I'm talking about, how different and how difficult was it to be fit yourself in this society after 40 years of that life?
Fortunately, I don't see much difference. It just so happens that my children are in the armed forces. So I live in I live in a society, in a flat which is, I'm surrounded by all the coaches out here. They're all coaches. It's the Army Welfare Housing Organization. And post retirement for 5 years, I was heading a think tank of the Ministry of Defense, which I just completed my tenure early this year. I find, but when I interact with people outside, I find them very good mostly. There are exceptions, of course, but they're very respectful towards the soldiers. Very respectful to the soldiers. I don't expect them to be so respectful, but they are. Once they come to know that you are soldiers, they're most respectful. Of course, there are odd people who will always like to cheat you, and that is where you feel very bad. I don't like being cheated. Someone cheats me. Someone, I trust everyone. I trust everyone blindly, and someone when he doesn't, repay their trust, it irritates me. I feel helpless at times. As to why does he do that? Because I've trusted him with everything. And why does he, I don't believe in the written word. I don't believe in a document, a signed document. I just believe in the word which a man to man, or it's a person to person, not man to man. Man to wrong word. A person to person. Right? It's a word given, and I trust, and he should trust. And someone who betrays the trust is something wrong, and that I think is in a society something we should imbibe and we should learn. We are good people. Indians are good people, but we take delight in doing the wrong thing at the you know. Sometimes we take we think that the right thing to do the wrong thing. So that is where something which irritates me. Small things irritate me. Why should anyone try to do the wrong? If I'm standing in the queue, someone tries to jump the queue, I don't like it. I don't let him do it. I don't want. And some of them, they think I'm an old man. Well, I'm an old man, but then you should understand I'm very firm. I won't like him. If I've stand in the queue, I'll do this. I expect the same discipline. So these are small things which which I see in the changing society. It's me, myself, and that sort of a thing. So there are changes, but then I live within myself and I'm happy.
Great. So actually, the army life, so disciplined life, so organized life, it's a totally different. And the civilian life, actually, there is that today's youth a bit confused actually what really they choose, with everything actually. But they're very intelligent, but they're confused at the same time. So do you think that youth should be trained by army officers like you, at least a bit, to have that kind of determination in their lives?
No, I think our value system as in India is still very good. Our beliefs are good. Unfortunately, in the urban centers, if you out to the villages when you go back home to your roots, you find the people are very good, they're still very disciplined, they're very honest, they're down to earth, right? They're very helpful to everyone. It is the urban societies that this competition, the spirit of competition, wrong competition, I would say. Competition is good, there's nothing wrong with competition. The one has survived in competition all their lives. What is the competitive world? But this, trying to take shortcuts in the short term may be good, but in the long term, it doesn't work out. So our value system have to come from our education, from our schools, and that is where our parents, our society have to, give the children that education, and that is what is not happening. If I see for me, my parents are ultimate. If I see my parents doing wrong, I will continue. I will go out and do wrong because I can't. Well, I mean, imagine that our parents will be incorrect, right? So I think that is the standard. So that is where I feel that the society has to not learn from the army. The army can't do everything. Unfortunately, there is a feeling, and I must tell you the joke. Long years ago, and my wife was coming from somewhere, and I'd gone to the railway station to receive her. And those days, the transistors were very few, and it was 5 in the morning. The Indian cricket team was playing in Australia, and 5 in the morning, someone came out and he said, "What happened to the test match, in the cricket match? Did India win or lose?" I said, "They lost." And he says, "This is not right. Tell the army should take over the cricket." Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, throughout the night, he must have wondered what happened to the cricket match, and we were playing in Australia. There's a time differential, like Japan and India. There's a time differential. So he said the army should take over the cricket. So that is the trust which people have in the army. But army cannot do everything. But NCC, yes, I think NCC is a very good thing, and I have been recommending to the government of India also, and they have taken things are being done, that we should expand the national cadet corps. The NCC gives you a sense of discipline, punctuality, values, a pride in the uniform, a pride in the nation. You stand in front of the flag and you recite your national anthem. You know that you have to stand in Southdown. Otherwise, when you go to a movie hall, unfortunately, after the COVID, the movie was mostly closed. But people don't even want to spend those 51 seconds standing erect and properly when the national anthem is being played. So these are the things which I think the education system is take over. I don't think Army should do. Army should not never get involved in the civil society at all, ever. Army has got a job to do, a primary goal, there is a secondary goal, and that's what the army should be doing. And let the civil society do what it has to do.
Yeah, this is actually, I think, yeah, you said very rightly that whenever we have problems, we expect the army to solve everything. So, as you just very rightly, you gave the example that the cricket match, like the army should take care of the cricket team also. So, yeah, so because army is like we feel there is a when we cannot solve anything, army is there. We can call the army. So it's kind of superhero for us. The Indian Army is superhero for us, and you all are heroes definitely. So I'd love to know your war experiences. Like, how was anything that you can just feel that still. I know that your 40 years experience is still in your heart, very fresh. But there is few experience if you can just share with us.
Well, I was commissioned after the 1971 war. During the 1971 war, I was training at the National Defense Academy, so I missed the war. And but then I got to see action in what we call as counter-terrorism operations, insurgency operations in the northeast, in Jammu and Kashmir, and I was not actually involved in the Kargil war. I was not leading troops out there, but I was sent from Delhi during the Kargil war to Kargil because I knew the area very well. and I got to witness it firsthand. Unfortunately, I was not there for the actual battle, but then I was there all right in the area of operations. So and I'd served out there. I served along the line of control, line of actual control, that is India-China border, India-Pakistan border, and the line of control is was live. We enjoyed ourselves while fighting at each other. There's no doubt about it. Though I don't think the right thing to do at this age, but as a young officer leading men, we did our job well. We were given a task to ensure that a Pakistani force which is firing at a national highway is vacated. So we did something which is we established a force called Bajrang. I wonder if you know that Bajrang force. This is where Saurav Kalia in the 1999 Kargil War was captured, and thereafter he was tortured and mutilated, body mutilated, so his body was mutilated. So that was the force established by my battalion, and I was very much there because the first company commander there. So I do remember that, and that was the first day when the firing took place, and we had established a force with carrying everything on our backs, and nearly 300 tons on our back over 2 nights. 2 nights means coming and going 2 nights, not that it did over 2 nights, over a period of time, but to take anything from the roadhead to the post 2 nights under fire. So I remember the 24th October 1991. We were fired upon, and we had this firefight with friends across. And we were well prepared, and we did make them. We caused considerable damage to the adversary's post, and I was outside, throughout the night, directing fire and doing things. I told the men to get into the bunkers because we were also being fired upon, and artillery fire and mortar fire, whatever it was. But the men would voices saying, "Saab, aap farwa ke andar chale," and they would give body protection. See, that's what even now. When I think of it, men giving you body protection and standing by you, knowing that they're risking their lives and they don't need to actually, they just won't obey that order of going to their bunkers and leaving me out. And we did succeed. And at 4 in the morning, uh, there was a young paratrooper, must be 20-year-old. Uh, what he made? There was no Thai. So when we Fateh, victory. When we achieved that victory, which he said, he was the one who said, when the firing stopped, so that means we were still firing and we had achieved the victory. And he came and he, 4 in the morning, came with malpuras. You know what are malpuras? You and that was the sweet he made. Of course, it tasted of kerosene oil because at that altitude, about 17,500 feet, everything tastes of kerosene oil. And he said, "Saab, malpure khao, mithai to nahi, malpure khao." So these are the things which keep you going. Uh, their love, their affection, their, you're sort of a personal property of the men. They think that you are their property, and nothing should go wrong with you at their cost. And then when someone comes out of small thing like Malpura at an altitude of 17,500 feet at 4 o'clock in the morning, when you have been up throughout the day, throughout the night, so that is what keeps you going.
Wonderful, amazing, and actually, one thing I just saw today that somebody is saying that one civilian who is 23-year-old and can have, can make mistake, can take drugs, anything. I'm talking about civilian. And one, I think from army, someone replied, I'm leading my, actually, the soldiers. I'm 23 years old and I'm taking decision for the country. So, what do you think that this 23 years old, 24 years old, when it comes to civilian, they just still feel that they're kid and they can make mistake, they can do anything. And when that 23, 24 join the army, and we expect a lot from that man, from that soldier, from that officer. So, do you think that kind of we are not doing justice, or just our youth also should be that responsible, the uh, same way as the army officer or jawan is?
No, no, but I will not agree with you. If a youth or young people don't make mistakes, they'll never learn. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Make mistakes, but learn from the mistakes. No, The wrong thing about mistakes is you don't learn from it. If as a young man you don't make mistake, what have you done? Nothing. No, the army leader can't make a mistake because if he makes a mistake, it may cost lives. Right? Like
Mm.
I used to tell I said I will not accept three mistakes. What they in the army they call it maafi galti. That means maafi galti means you can do mistakes which are maafi. You will, there are three galti which are not maafi galtis. Right? One is loss of life, jaan salamati. There's no maafi galti in jaan salamati. I cannot lose a life and say कि मैं गलती होगी साहब. That's not done. Right. The next is Hathiyar Salamati. I can't lose a weapon because that weapon will then be used for something different. And say Maafi Galti, the Gal may maaf kar do. And the third thing is, I can't do chori and then say maaf kar. Rest everything Maafi Galti. Okay. Because if you do not do mistake, you never learn. There's nothing wrong with failure. If you fail, you just and you fail. So what? Failure is the pillars of success. We were taught in school and kept failing in school. And once my parents told me, you always keep failing. I said, Dad, failure is the pillars of success. And he gave me another dhap. He said, don't teach me English. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
That-
a fact of life. You know,
yeah.
it's not good, but I thought I had learned a very good thing at class six. I said, Dad, failure is the pillar of success. So would I have failed? So I think the youth should experiment. They should not experiment the wrong things. I'm not talking about drugs. I'm not talking of cheating. I'm not talking of thefts and robbery. But do mistakes in like that. I've done so many mistakes in life. Like I
Exactly.
said,
So
I will just value
make
mistake again and
mistake and
again.
learn from them.
Correct. Be
Hmm.
a good citizen of the country. Be a good citizen of the country if you can. Your family should be proud of you. Your people should be proud of you. Society should be proud of you.
Yeah,
So that
that's
is what.
exactly. So that is actually that actually we have to be in our family or society or countries like we have to make our country proud, our society proud, our family proud. I think that thing we have to have. Yeah. So actually, the 40 years, within 40 years, people take the army officers, they take the voluntary retirement. So have you ever thought of quitting like that, or have you even slightly also came in your mind that no, this is I should end here?
Never. Not once. Not once in 40 years. Maybe I was lucky. I was very lucky. God was with me. I was very lucky. I was progressing well. I had some very challenging tenures, very difficult tenures. I had injuries. In a para jump in an exercise, I was a climbing also. I injured my leg very badly, and I had to undergo 6 months of hospitalization with my knee, and the doctor said, "Never walk again properly." I thought it out. It's not that, but I never thought of leaving. I thought if I was surviving the army, I got to get back to be physically fit and to jump again, to be fighting fit, to be jumping fit, as we call it. And I'm a fighter, so I had to be jumping fit. So I was literally lying on the bed for about 5 months with the plaster on and surgery after surgery, corrective surgeries, and the doctor was surprised when I got well. And it's been 25 years with jump injury. I still play my golf whenever I get a chance, and I still try, I still walk. And I was fortunate, but it then needed a lot of determination, a lot of self belief. I must say, I'm not trying to boast about it, but for those who everyone goes through adversities, everyone goes through adversities. I have a 21 bones broken in the body, most accidents and parajump injuries and sports injuries, things like that. But that didn't mean that you give up and you say, okay, I'm injured, I can't do this. No, that sort of thing. You spur on and you take the chances and you carry on. You take. No, it's a high risk profession, and if you join a high risk profession, you got to face the consequences. Its job hazards actually. Injuries are part of the job. But then there is the military hospital repair you, so you get repaired and you fight back and you come back. So what I'm trying to say is that never once in my mind, when I was down and out and everyone thought I was down and out, I would fight back and come back. So no question leaving my army. No way.
So this willpower, that determination, I think most of the army officers they have got. Definitely, you always had since your childhood because you were determined to join the army. Then you joined, and you were determined. I think since childhood you had that willpower. But many of the army officers they are not that determined, but they join and they become the really great, successful officers with full of willpower and determination. Do you think the army training really helped them to achieve that?
Definitely, the army training helps, and there are a number of my colleagues who left the army and who went on to do, I would say, well in life outside the army, and very well in life. Some of them are really excelled in their fields, chosen fields after that. But whenever I meet them, they have a regret. They do have a regret. They reach the the top of their chosen second profession, but they have regret. They say, I wish we had also continued. uh, okay, fine. I don't grudge them at all because they took a decision based on circumstances that point of time, maybe family considerations. The children's education suffers. You're never there to for the children when they go to school, when they're ill, when they your wife has to take care of things. So there are problems. It's not that problem not there. Some people give up and do it and they say, okay, I may be better off. Some lose interest. Some are inclined that way. They think that they could contribute better outside. So it's not that the army is the only way to contribute. You can contribute nation building in any other way. And some of my colleagues have done exceedingly well outside, both in the corporate by contribution and the achievements, and also financially also. They've done very well. But then over a drink when we meet and we talk of the good old days, that slight bit of regret I can always feel that. And nowadays things have become more complicated because there are more avenues which are open to the younger generation, which are not open to us. We didn't have the right qualifications, I suppose. We may have the experience, but the right education qualifications, but we developed those later in life. It's not that we have. But today it's not so. Some of our officers do on the sidelines of their job. They educate themselves better than why and why not? That's a very good thing they do. So I do feel that the army training helps, and it really does help. It gives you, what it shows you is that you're no saturation point. You can do anything you want to do. If you want to, if you have an aim in life, you can achieve it. There's no stopping. And it instills a sense of discipline. It instills a sense of challenge in you, a self belief, and it tells you that you can achieve anything you aim at.
Wonderful. Actually, my personal experience I want to share with you. Like I have been doing this show with Army, for Army, on Army officers, and whenever actually I contact with someone outside Army for politics or whatever field, I hardly get any response from them. But whenever I contact any Army officers, with they always get back to me. So what do you think? Why this difference? I find it very. I'm not saying that they are bad or army is the only best thing. Of course not. But I'm amused. I'm really. This is amazing thing. I get the same response in Japan. They always come back to me with, of course, and the same thing I get from the army officers from the Indian army. And other than that, I never get any response. So why do you think that happens? Like, why?
We have to respect everyone. We have to respect each other. I don't respect your time. I don't
Mhm.
respect you as a person. If you say something like this, I take your word for it. I have to respect you. I have to respect my environment. I have to respect everything. So that is, I think, the difference where I say, okay, what do I have to take from Nupur? Nothing. So why should I reply? Okay. So everything can't be a transaction in life. A transactional sort of a thing is not right. If I say that I will be online at a particular time, I cannot waste your time. Right? I have to be online at a particular point of time. Right? So I have to respect you. I have to respect your time. I have to respect your thoughts. So I think that is what the difference. Because when in the army you're taught to respect each other, to respect your colleagues, to make sure that you're a part of the team. Okay, that's very important. Outside, that is the difference. When you go outside, and yes, Japan people are very particular about everyone. Well, I have to care for. If I'm on a train, I have to make sure that I'm sensitive to your, values, to your needs, which unfortunately you in India do not do that. Very unfortunate. I will talk loud in a bus or a train. I will push something. I will, I, I will not have the small courtesy which are required, which don't cost anything whatsoever. So that is where I say the education system needs to be that. I need to teach my children. It is not only the schools. I have to teach them at home. I'll keep my house exceedingly well clean, but I will throw the dirt right outside my door so that for the others. So these are small things. Which I no, I have not been to Japan ever, but whatever I heard, whatever I read, whatever I've seen, I have a lot of respect for the Japanese people. Look at from where they've come to where they've come. No, they came out of devastation after 1945, a trauma, devastation totally, and we fought for independence, and we got our independence in 1947. So we started our journey almost at the same time.
True.
We opted for 200 years of root, and Japan after a devastation. But look at the differential. Okay, so but we have our own civilization, linkages, and we're very proud of our civilization. But then we want to look at other, like, the respect for each other. That's what is missing. And that is, I think, where our value system got eroded in the 200 years before partition or before independence, or not partition, before independence.
Yeah, so thank you for, I think youth would learn from it that it should start from home. The education should start from home. And there are many aspirants, like they want to join army, and I would love to request you to give them some message that there are really, youth in India, they write to me, just ask this question, ask that question, like they are so much in love with Indian army and they want to join Indian army. So one message for them, the entire youth who really want to join Indian army.
All those who want to join, no one can stop them joining. They just have to work for it. And hard work, there's no alternate to hard work. There's no alternate to what I said, wafadari, imandari, bahaduri. If you have these three qualities, I get there are a lot of time they're asking questions. How should I prepare SSB? You don't need to prepare. You have to be yourself and just imbibe the correct values. Like, what I'm saying is, this is what the army is looking at. A basic. I'm not saying we all look honest and dishonest. We'll make you honest. Don't worry about it. But be honest. Well, you can't try and fool the system, right? So I think anyone who wants to join the army, who really wants to join it, he has to work for it. There's no shortcut to hard work. Perseverance. You say he's lucky. No, luck is 99% perseverance. It's only 1% chance. So you have to be diligent about it. It's like that Arjun ka theory. You have to just look at your aims and just work for it, and even God will support you when you work for it. God always supports hard work. Your family will support you. You support yourself, and more importantly, you start believing that you can do it. If I want to take shortcuts, I don't want to work, and I think it'll the call letter will fall in my lap someday. So it'll come in my email. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I think the youth. I wish you the very best. It's an excellent profession. It's not a profession; it's a passion. It's wrong to call it a passion. But you want to enjoy life. You want to see the world. You want to be your own boss, which everyone wants to be. Lead from the front. At the age of 23, you can say, okay, today is a Wednesday. No, today is a Sunday, and everyone say, okay, today is a Sunday. That sort of a thing no one else can do, right? That only you can do when you sit on a you sit on a post and where you are the leader, and you say, okay, today we'll have a Sunday. So that was Sunday. Everyone relaxes that. No one questions you, right? So that sort of a leadership you should become. You be your boss. At the age of 22, 23, you can be a boss. You don't have to wait till 50 and get to the top of a ladder and say, oh, this is so much. But yes, there will be responsibilities. So go ahead and join. Just be passionate and join. Don't think twice. And don't weigh pros and cons. If I join, what will happen? If I don't join, what will happen? What are the other avenues will do to me? If you have the passion, you have the aim, just join. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, exactly what you said. This is not a work, this is a passion. Indian Army is passion. Yeah, you have to be passionate to be there. Exactly. And there is no substitute of hard work. So yes, youth, they have to definitely keep in mind that there is no substitute of hard work. As you said, there is no shortcut. So thank you so much, Lieutenant General Vinod Bhatia ji, for joining us and telling your stories. And I'm sure that viewers, they're going to write to me a lot. And it is an honor for me have you on my show, and knowing all these stories that because I personally actually I worship courage. So this is my personal actually passion to know these stories. So I feel privileged. I feel blessed for having you on my show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rupert. Thank you very much. You're so kind of to have given me this honor, and this honor goes to all the soldiers of the Indian Armed Forces. Thank you very much, and I wish you and your viewers the very best. And Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. Jai Hind, and thank you so much. And I will look forward to have you again on my show, definitely.
Thank you, Jai.
Thank you. Thank you, Jai Hind, and namaste.
Thank you.